Cooked brown rice. This is basmati rice, and I just fogged up my... Okay, so in my trusty rice cooker that I've had since college. Let's see. Seriously, this thing's like 30 years old. Okay, well maybe not 30 years old, but 25 at least. So then I just scoop some in here, and I'll turn it off because that's boring, and then I'm going to add a little bit of each, and then I'll take a picture of that and you can see how it is. But anyway, you just put that, and then some oats, a very little bit of flax seeds. This is golden flax. Very little bit of hemp, unless you like the flavor, but this just adds protein and more nutrients and so forth. And some cashews, and if you don't have cashews, you can use any kind of nuts like walnuts or almonds, but I'm not real fond of the almonds now because they irradiate the almonds. You can also use, instead of this, you could use like a teaspoon or so of coconut oil, but you need to have something that has oil in it, nuts, right, that will, so it holds it together and it's not chalky. Otherwise it kind of, yeah, it doesn't taste so good in your mouth. So I found that if you want a more creamy, silky flavor to it, then you have something that has oil in it. I've noticed when I don't put the cashews in, or if I don't at least put at least a little bit of coconut oil, it doesn't, it's just the texture is not as good. Flavor, no big deal, but I mean, it doesn't change it much. But the texture, a lot of people don't like that chalkiness in their mouth. Anyway, so we'll put some more in there and I'll show you how it works. I just go by eye. I don't measure anything. That looks like about enough. Don't want to put too much in there. Okay. Now this one really just a little bit. Watch. Just. Probably too much already. Just a little. And then same thing with this. Just a little bit. But a little bit more than you did with the golden flax. This is hemp seed. Can't grow this in the United States. Nope, not allowed. Gotta get it from Canada. Okay, there we go, and some cashews, not too many, and then I'm just gonna, maybe a few more. Okay, that's it. 5 ingredients: brown rice, oats, this is all obviously organic, golden flax, hemp seeds, and cashews. That's it. Done. And then later on you can add, see, this is the basis for everything. It's just like having milk in your refrigerator. Then you can make your eggnog, and then you can make banana, a smoothie that has bananas and stuff in there, more starches. You could just put vanilla and a little bit of honey for and water and ice to thin it out, because as you can see, that's going to be a little bit thick, right? But that's the way you want it, because you want to be able to thin it down, and you can add water and stuff to it later. Alright, so then we're going to blend it, but I got to throw some water in there, and I can't hold the camera and pour the water in and everything at the same time. So anyway, and oh, here's my water, just for fun. This is you'll see there's a silver coin in the bottom there, and those are pearl beads, and it just changes the pH of the water a little bit. So I let it stand, and it comes through a water filter, so I get out any impurities using a GAC 5 filter. Just a regular old carbon-based filter that I change regularly, get the chlorine and stuff out, and I'm going to pour that in, and then put it on the blender and let it go. You'll often hear the blender in the background when I'm doing math videos, because I forget to turn it off. Okie-dokie, so there it is, the water. Happy lid goes on. Make sure you put that on tight. Oh man, otherwise you'll have a mess. And I probably filled it a little bit too much. The less you fill it, the faster it heats up. And you want to run this thing until you take this off and there's steam coming off the top. Okay, you're basically going to cook the oats and the rice. And I have also this rice, if I don't eat it, I just put it in the refrigerator and then I use that. Or I can actually put it in the freezer sometimes, depending, because I don't waste it. So that I can use it to make more rice milk. Because after it goes in the freezer, after it goes into the refrigerator, it gets hard, and you don't want to eat that, so unless you put it in the soup or something. But so when you make it into rice milk, it doesn't matter if it's a few days in the refrigerator, and you can save it that way. Also, once it gets going and it starts steaming, then I'm going to add a little bit more water to bring it up. But it takes longer, the more, obviously, right, in this simple physics, the more water you have in there, the longer it takes to heat up, the more energy you use. So if you put a little bit less water, you get as good a blend, and then you can turn it on. You can add water later. Okay, so here is, see, that's some water that's just sitting there because any extra stuff can evaporate off that, you know, that didn't get caught by the water filter. And let's see, simple, just here's my super duper Vitamix. Turn it on slowly, otherwise you make a mess, and turn it off, and then boom. And then we let it go for a while, like until it steams, about 5 minutes, not even 3 to 5 minutes. Quiet. Okay. I don't know if you can see the steam coming out of there. Also, you can do the finger test, where you put your finger in there, and if your finger goes, ow, that's it's probably good, right? Because what you're really doing, you're cooking the oats, which is what makes it the most creamy. And with the oats and the oil, it puts it together. And then one thing I forgot to mention. Any kind of trace minerals, just a few drops, just like that, done, to make it. And I can tell you also, just by tasting my finger, but I put it in there to see how hot it was, that I put a little bit too much hemp seed in there. So if I was going to fix it, I'm not, because I don't care, but I would add a little bit more oats, a little bit more cashews, and a lot more rice. Dump out like a cup or two of the existing mixture, and fix it that way. But anyway, it's fine for me anyway. And I'm going to add all kinds of other fun stuff to it later. Like I said, I can make this is just basically your right. This is basically milk that you've made it yourself. You know it's in there, and I haven't finished mixing it because now I'm just going to let it put it on low and just let it mix for a little bit and cool down, and then put it in the refrigerator, and it's tasty. But if you wanted like warm eggnog, now would be the time to pour it off. And most of the Vitamixes come with an extra one of these, right? So you pour it off of a little bit, crack 3 eggs in there, maybe fill it up to the 3 cups mark of that, put some vanilla and cinnamon and nutmeg. Gotta have the nutmeg. I really noticed you gotta have the nutmeg. A little tiny touch of ginger, and then sweeten it how you like. I might put a little bit of molasses in there, right? And maybe some coconut milk out of the can, and then of course some honey. There's their delicious Big Island honey. Always try to use your local honey, right? Great for allergies and so forth. And then you could throw in some L-glutamine. You can't even taste it. And you could actually throw some L-glutamine in this. Again, you couldn't even taste that. But I wanted to mention the minerals, and there you have it. Milk, right? There's your staple. Instead of buying moo juice, you can use this. And I got nothing against moo juice if it's raw. I have no problem with raw milk, but I can't get raw milk in Hawaii. And a lot of locations can't get raw milk because, you know, the government is so much smarter than we are that they've protected us from ourselves. We can't get raw milk. But and there's nothing like cream top raw milk. If you want to make holiday eggnog and stuff like that, that's the best. But anyway, this is good vegetarian deliciousness that you can use in place of milk in recipes and all kinds of things. And you can thin it down or thicken it up depending on how you want it. And if you make it thicker, of course, you know, like a cream, and you thin it down, just add water. And with your blender, you can always make it thinner, but you know, obviously can't make it thicker, right? Okay, there it is. There's the recipe for the super duper Crouton Ramon's stupendous and magnificent rice milk. All right, Regal Magnificent rice milk. I don't know. Okay. Go to Crouton Ramon's House of Math for more math and Math Genius Making for more stuff like this.